assume you'd like to see more of it's like the one you saw on Saturday. We just haven't seen that consistency still.
Yeah, it's something that well, it's whether frustration for all of us, but something that we talked today. It's a great game for us, but to me, you park it. We got another game. You can't. It's the same thing in Toronto. A big win, and it's we didn't come down from it. And it affected us. So it's something we should learn from. You got to drum up a mindset for tomorrow. It's a responsibility of all of us to have that mindset.
What did you say, though, about the resolve in that room as well from some of the players with all the noise that was swirling before the start of that game, Rick?
Yeah, well, it's amazing what your mindset can do, right? And a group of individuals that buy in and can block out noise, you can, but you got to do it consistently. We all know that it's all the same, sustainable, all that sort of questions right now is, like I said to the team today, sustainable stuff. You got to be hard on the forecheck. You got to still do the surge. You can't do it once in a while. We can't be a once in a while team. That's really you got to do it every day.
You figured out what gets PD going, and I ask that because when you go back last year, All-Star break to now, 72 games, he's got 54 points. That's not the guy that we're used to seeing here.
Yeah, it's his job and my job, to make him understand what we need from him, and he has to break the mindset. I think, like I talked to you guys before, if he doesn't move his feet, that's when he gets in trouble. Double clutches on a shot, things like that. I just want him to be aggressive, whatever he does. If he even makes the wrong mistake, I'll take the aggressiveness. And I mean by that is as soon as he gets the puck, take 4 or 5 strides, be ready to cock the shot, shoot it. If he's such a talented guy, if the guy's out the block, he can go around the guy and make a pass. So I think if he has that mindset, but he's got to do that every day. He knows that every day he's got to have hockey's like every sport. It's reps. And if he has that mindset, he'll get out of it.
I'm sure you'll let the league rule, but do you have to prepare to have a game or two here without Tyler?
Yeah. I don't know. They haven't said anything yet, but I assume so. I don't know how the call went this morning, but I assume so.
So you didn't mind the emotion at the end of that game from both teams?
Yeah, I mean it's a good rival. I mean the building was rocking. It was a great game to watch. I think it was that's the intensity we need. For sure.
So Patrik Allvin today told us he's really happy with the job that you've done, and there was a long quote, but he did use the term long term when talking about your future here. What is your reaction? Has it been a challenge at all this year, thinking about where you would fit beyond this year?
Honestly, God, my 24/7 energy is how do I get this team to play consistent. I honestly don't think about my future. I'm not lying. I don't worry about that sort of stuff. I'm a day-to-day, especially now where we're at. I just think of every day, how do I approach the new day? Whether it's a different game plan, we're playing Buffalo tomorrow, whether who's going to play, do I keep the same lines? I think that's the best approach for me personally, mentally, is to think that way.
You had Hughes and Hronek on different pairings out there today. You had Friedman up and with the group. What's the thinking there in terms of what you're looking for on the back end right now?
Well, Phil's going to, it's not set in stone, but Phil's going to have to play some shifts with some other defense. There'll be some situational stuff where certain personnel will be on Buffalo. We're going to have to, Huggy might have to play with a different guy sometimes in certain situations. When you got some injuries, and maybe obviously with Mizey's situation, you got to be prepared for anything.
What does Mark Friedman bring when he's playing to the level that he can?
Yeah, he can skate. He can skate and he can move the puck up. We told him, I thought when for a few games when he got called up, I thought he played really well. In the sense that we need a guy that's going to move the puck, make the first pass, breakout first pass, get up in the play, and manage the game. We're not looking for him to do anything more than that right now.
Brock Boeser talked about the noise, and this is probably the most noise that he's had to deal with in his career. Where is it in terms of what you've gone through in your career? Have you ever had to have a season like this where you dealt with so many different issues?
Yeah, I mean, sure. You're playing. You're talking about my experience. Where I've heard I might get traded, contracts coming up, you're not playing well. These factors hit you as an athlete, as a hockey player. And like I said, you can't think too far ahead. And when you do, that's when you get in trouble. I think it's like for Brock or whoever, it's just think about Buffalo tomorrow and worry about the next day. That's the only way you can do it. If you think of stuff down the road, it just clouds your mind. It really does.
From a team perspective, though, in terms of having a team that's had to deal with so many different storylines.
Well, I think that's when you need a chunk of guys, a group of guys that really hold steady. Really hold steady every day, preach the right things. Yeah, every team goes through it. I mean, other teams, even teams that are winning, they have some stuff that, hey, this guy might get traded, or that's just the business we're in, and you just, you try to, I like a lot of numbers around when things, a lot of noise around it. You like numbers. You don't like segregation. I don't like 2 or 3 guys by themselves, and I hate that. I think when it's a group mentality, you deal with a lot of the noise better when you have a group.
Through this adversity, are you stronger on the other side?
Well, if you get through it, yeah. I mean, you go one way or another. You either wilt or you become strong. And I think that's something for each player. And I always tell the players, everybody's watching. Everybody watches. Outside watches. Your effort, watches the way you're playing. It's not just the in-house; it's outside. So you got to conduct yourself with character and a professional too.
What have you seen from JT? And have you had any meetings with him in the last week with everything, the way it's been ramping up?
Yeah, I've talked a couple times. More hockey stuff, positional stuff. Obviously, he knew he was going to go against McDavid. Talking before the game on game planning against that line, and that line was obviously did a hell of a job. Pew Suter, I thought was really good defensively and supplied some offense. And Garland and obviously with JT, I thought that line was really good.
We don't see a lot inside the room, away from the rink. JT had his leave. Elias was hurt.
Yeah.
Quinn was hurt as well. Everything that this team has dealt through, what have you seen from this team? You're a point out of a playoff spot still, Rick. I mean, even with everything surrounding, but it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it 2 ways. I'm going to take the positive approach. I mean, a lot of it has. I've been involved 40 years in the league. This is one of the most trying years I've ever seen. What's been thrown, but saying that, to still hang in there, that's the way I take that approach. Yeah, I mean, we lose 10 overtime games. I mean, I wish we only lost 5. Even that's 5 extra points if we won those games. How many times we gave some, the Seattle game, we're up 4-1 to it. These are games where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe we did. But that's happened. There's positives where, we haven't lost a lot in a row, knock on wood. We've kind of won one, lost one. So we've hung in there a little bit that way. That's the approach you're going to take. So can we get back on the other side with this adversity?
Rick, the fact of the matter is you're below the playoff bar right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you played 45 games. Do you concern yourself with the standings, or is there just way too much runway to worry about where you sit in the standings right now?
Yeah, I don't want to lie. I watch it, but 48 hours, things change. Like you can go from one spot, jump up 2 spots ahead. So you got to be careful of that. Do I watch other teams? Am I in my office having a coffee at 4 o'clock, hoping that this team loses? Yeah, but saying that, I'm not scoreboard watching every day now. But everything changes though within days. So you got to be careful there.
Rick, do you have more confidence in Niels Höglander recently?
Yeah, I think Hoggy's been. He's been he's got to have an identity and a role. Sometimes I think early in the season, I don't know if he was trying to score or trying to play. I don't know. He was just caught in between. But I think when he's hard on the puck, that's when good things happen for him. And I think he's starting to do that. Maybe hold on to some pucks a little bit more, take it to the net, shoot more pucks. I think he has done that lately. Hopefully he can get on a roll for us.
And how important is it with confidence? Because he mentioned was that he wants the puck now. Like he is now at a point where he's wanting to have the puck more. Is that a confidence thing, or how do you kind of?
That is confidence. I'm glad he said that. You want the puck. Put yourself in position to want the puck. If you do, but now is when you get it. What are you going to do with it? You got to take it to the net. Are you going to take 4 or 5 strides to make a pass? These are the sort of things that are the next level for him. But the confidence of him wanting the puck is big.
How do you deal with a player who had such a high shooting percentage last year, and then this year just not getting a lot of bounces at points as well? Is there something that you can talk to with a player just kind of staying even keel throughout that?
Well, just get back to your identity. His big thing for me is his identity. I think when he gets in trouble, he He's not getting the puck in deep. He's making plays that aren't really should be making plays at that point. I want to make a play, but it's more calculation for Hoggy.
Rick, with Garland, we saw what happened where he takes on McDavid,
Yeah.
and this is a player who is smaller when you look at the overall league. So what does that do for the team when they see somebody like Garland at his size, jumping in and saying, I'm going to take down the best player in the league, I'm not going to let him create a chance?
Well, that's Garza's approach to his career. Chip on his shoulder. These small guys like Marty St. Louis, if you ever listen to him, he always played like he had a chip on his shoulder. That's Garz. He's since I've coached him in Arizona, he's had a chip. He was in the minors. He wasn't even supposed to come up in the NHL, so he always had a chip. I think he has to play with that chip. That's what drives him.
Just a couple of housekeeping.
Sure. Yeah.
Juleson still just day to day?
Yeah, day to day. He didn't go on the ice the last couple of days, so he's still day to day. And then Dax skated today pretty good. Not to the team yet, but he's getting close. He did some work with Krog today.
And you sent Lecker-Mackey down, but do you think you'll bring a forward in before tomorrow night?
I don't know. I talked to Patrick. I think we'll get by tomorrow. I think with this, but that's a possibility down the road. And I think Abby's won 5 or 6 in a row. And I think I've heard was it Ratty had Player of the Week, I think, and